Tonight on Apple Valley News Now at 5, accusations of racist vandalism impacting a local city council candidate. We'll hear how the community is showing support for Irving Brown Sr. Plus, we're learning more about the effort to get more than 24 people arrested in just a matter of days, thanks to a task force focused on getting violent offenders off the streets.
And near record-breaking temperatures today, but a big change for tomorrow. Much cooler, plus we're tracking some thunder and lightning headed our way. All of this in your First Alert forecast.
This is Apple Valley News Now at 5 on your side.
For many seeking mental health services, the first barrier is seeing an intake specialist who can determine what kind of help you need, and the demand is high in Eastern Washington. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. Comprehensive healthcare officials say they've had patients waiting up to 3 months just for that initial assessment. 53% of those patients never showed up 3 months later. But Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell reports they've come up with a way to try and break down that barrier.
Now, all you have to do is show up, walk into any one of Comprehensive's buildings and say that you need a mental health intake, and you'll be able to get one immediately that same day. That's because Comprehensive has pooled its resources across its locations in Yakima, Sunnyside, Pasco, Walla Walla, and Ellensburg, so that if you come in during clinic hours from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and an intake specialist isn't available at the location you walked into, you'll still be able to see someone because you'll be able to get a telehealth appointment with a specialist at one of the other locations.
It definitely takes a lot of manpower on the back end to plan and coordinate. I do think it can be replicable.
Right now, same-day access is only for mental health intakes, but Comprehensive officials say it's a model that they could potentially use in the future for things like intakes for substance use disorder. Reporting in Yakima, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thanks, Emily. It is hot out there. We saw thousands of people lose power in Kennewick this afternoon for a few minutes as temperatures were nearing record highs. Now, we're still working to get some details on that power outage. Stacey Lee is tracking those triple digits for us.
That's right. It's a hot day out there. And yeah, 103 would be the record in Tri-Cities. Look at that, 102. It is 103 at Hanford and a scorching 104 right now in Hermiston. So very, very hot. But the thing is, things are going to be changing hugely. We've been watching our air quality today. It has been hazy, but we've still been okay. We're in moderate to healthy for most of the region. Here's your evening planner. Again, we'll look at those hazy conditions, and it is staying very warm till about 8 o'clock. We'll drop down into the 80s. In Yakima, I'd hit the pool today because things are changing tomorrow. Again, those hazy conditions dropping down to 85 at 8 p.m. And in Walla Walla, a great night for a barbecue. It eventually cooling down again, looking at a little bit of smoke and haze. Well, that cold front starts moving in tonight. We'll start to see some showers and thunderstorms developing, mainly in the Kittitas Valley to start with, moving its way east towards Columbia Basin Tri-Cities later tonight. And get ready, strong gusty winds associated with these storms. I've got all the details coming up in your First Alert weather forecast. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. Tonight we're tracking developing news in a Pasco City Council race. One candidate running for re-election says he has found hateful and racist remarks on his campaign signs. Tonight, Teamsters Local Union 839, along with other unions, are preparing to rally to show their support for Irving Brown Sr. The rally is set to begin at 5:30 tonight in Pasco, and organizers tell us they want to show that racism doesn't have a place here.
So I found out this weekend there's been a lot of vandalism being done to his larger signs, and when he went to go fix one of them this weekend is when he found the note that basically spelled out the N-word and told him they didn't want the N-word in position 3 in Pasco City Council.
Now, he says it's not just about politics, it's about standing as a community and putting an end to the ugliness going on. Now, again, that rally tonight is expected to start around 5:30, and we'll hear from Councilman Brown coming up tonight on Apple Valley News Now at 6. Tomorrow, ESD 123 will interview 3 candidates to help fill a vacancy on the Richland School Board. Semi Bird, Kari Williams, and Audra Bird were all recalled in the August primary, leaving the Richland School Board with just 2 of 5 positions filled. The Educational Service District will select 1 replacement who will be sworn in on Thursday. Then the 3 board members will be able to appoint 2 temporary positions. And the candidates being interviewed tomorrow are Robert Scott Butner, Jeffrey Estes, and Lindsay Leitner. The meeting is set for tomorrow at 4:30. It is open to the public. You can also stream the meeting on Zoom. Now in Pasco, the school district hosted an all-staff expo and rally this morning to kick off the 2023 school year. Each school in the Pasco district was represented, and at this event, staff and teachers got ready to welcome students back to school. Superintendent Michelle Whitney spoke about her own experience going through the system and while going through complex circumstances at home.
And when you come from that kind of circumstance, you have to learn about the world from people outside your family system. And when I think about it, it was really the grandest gesture, the gift of people who start out as strangers taking the time to deeply invest in me.
Keynote speaker Steve Pemberton spoke about what he calls the lighthouse effect, how to be a human lighthouse to inspire the people around you. He told the teachers and staff in attendance, nobody forgets the first person to recognize their accomplishments. And for some, the person may be a parent or a grandparent, but for so many, it is their teachers.
But for others of us, the person who looks at us like that is you. You're the one. Looks at them with that lighthouse look, possibilities and not circumstances, turns their doubts into destinations.
School starts for the Pasco district tomorrow, August 29th for 1st through 6th and 9th graders, then August 30th for 7th, 8th, and 10th through 12th grades, Thursday, August 31st for all kinder classes. Heritage University has completed its first week of classes for the fall semester already. The provost said she has already heard discussions from students and professors about things like artificial intelligence and what it means for grades, as well as the new FAFSA application that's going out next year. She says she's also noticed people around campus having deeper discussions about community and worldwide issues.
Getting familiar and comfortable in the spaces where they're discussing things and really being forced to think critically about serious issues that we're facing, whether it be climate, looking at some of the views I think that are important to this community too. We have those difficult discussions and deconstruct them in the classrooms. And so everyone's really excited to be in those spaces and figuring out how they share, what they share.
She says Heritage University has maintained enrollment even following the pandemic. Officials say there has been a decline, though, in applications for financial aid. A crime alert tonight. The U.S. Marshals Pacific Northwest Violent Offenders Task Force arrested 26 offenders in eastern Washington in a 2-week warrant sweep called Operation Centennial Trail. It all finished up on Friday. They received help from more than a dozen agencies, including the Benton County Sheriff's Office and Yakima County Sheriff's Office. The operation targeted violent fugitives, repeat offenders, with warrants for crimes like assault, burglary, child molestation, robbery, vehicular homicide, and sex offenses. Their goal was to get offenders at risk of committing further crimes off the streets before they could hurt anyone else.
Limitations are both investigative resources, so that information sharing, knowing where individuals are, being able to follow up on tips, and just our manpower of having enough individuals to be able to go out and do this often very dangerous job.
Now, if you have information about the whereabouts of any state or federal fugitive, you can call the Marshals Service, the Communications Center, or submit a tip on their website. All that information here on your screen. Tonight, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill told students and faculty to shelter in place for hours today because of reports of an armed and dangerous person on campus. Police say someone shot and killed a faculty member in a science building earlier today. Now, officers say they arrested that suspect about an hour and a half after the first reports. So far, investigators have not identified the suspect or the victim in this case. On Saturday, police in Jacksonville, Florida say a 21-year-old started shooting at a Dollar General, killing 3 people. Police say the shooter was white and carried a gun with a Nazi symbol on it. All 3 of the victims were black. The Dollar General where the shooting happened is close to a historically black university, and investigators say the suspect had visited the school earlier in the day. A security guard reportedly asked him to leave, and investigators say they don't believe he planned to attack the university. Police say the 21-year-old bought guns used in the shooting legally this year. He had been involuntarily committed for a 72-hour mental health exam in 2017. Police say the shooter died by suicide. Organized retail theft, the crime of stealing from stores with the intention of reselling whatever you can get away with, has been a growing problem for several years now. And this year, the state of Washington created a special unit focused on tracking down these criminals, even across city and county lines. But it's not just Washington. ABC's Morgan Norwood has a look at how businesses and law enforcement across the nation are responding.
10 people are under arrest after a 2-day sting operation at this Nike store in Los Angeles. Police say they've recovered more than $3,000 of merchandise, but say that's a drop in the bucket compared to how much has been taken from that store in recent months.
Nike, over a year period, lost close to $1 million just in that one store.
The National Retail Federation says organized retail crime is on the rise, accounting for $94.5 billion in losses in 2021, driven by inflation and what critics say is a lack of law enforcement.
It's extremely difficult to quantify the degree of the problem because not a lot of information is shared.
In this shocking incident, a group of juvenile suspects robbing a sporting goods store, taking off with BB guns before being apprehended by police. Some retailers taking matters into their own hands. Walgreens has opened an anti-theft store in Chicago. All but 2 aisles of merchandise are locked up and need to be ordered from a kiosk. And Dollar Tree, which says shoplifting is a factor in falling profits, is removing some products from stores in certain locations. Others are shutting their doors. Nordstrom yesterday closed its flagship store in San Francisco after more than 30 years, amid concerns about crime and declining foot traffic. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Not one, but 2 semi-trucks ended up in the Columbia River near Biggs Junction late Friday night and early Saturday morning. This morning, the Oregon Department of Transportation had to shut down part of I-84 so that crews could, as you see here, haul those trucks out of the river. The Sherman County Sheriff's Office says the drivers of both trucks were able to get safely to shore, and Oregon State Police are working to figure out what happened. Now we're seeing possibly our last blast of really hot summer weather out there this evening. Taking a look outside, we are talking about temperatures in the triple digits, but a big change is on the way. Stacey Lee is tracking that for us coming up in just a moment. And still ahead on Apple Valley News Now at 5, we're talking about another huge storm bearing down on the Gulf Coast. And we'll show you why this one is causing so much concern, even though it's not technically a hurricane yet.
Coming up Tuesday on Good Morning Northwest, some schools are now back in session. We're getting you prepared for the back to school season, and Jason Valentine will get you prepared for a blustery, cooler, and wet Tuesday. We hope to see you tomorrow.
Saturday, the final year of the Huskies in the Pac-12 kicks off on ABC and Apple Valley News Now as Boise State takes on Washington live from Seattle. The Broncos battle the Huskies, Saturday starting at 12:30, only on Apple Valley News Now.
Cut your ties to the fuel pump with an all-electric vehicle from Overturf Kia, your EV headquarters. You'll find a great selection of new vehicles in stock now. Save over $5,500 on a new 2023 all-electric EV6 Wind with all-wheel drive. Now just $48,549. Take delivery today or reserve a car that's on its way. Shop online anytime at overturfkia.com. Overturf Kia at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Wild Horse Resort and Casino is teeing up for the LPGA Epson Tour, and you too can go for the green. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in August, play to win up to $5,000 in cash and prizes. A perfect putt will multiply your prize up to 5 times. Play with your club wild card on Monday for 10 times entries to win. Plus, 3 winners will go for the green and putt to win up to $10,000 in the grand prize playoff on September 3rd. Come go for the green. Wild Horse Resort and Casino, Pendleton, Oregon. More winners, more often.
Our state has changed a lot in the last 140 years. We know because MultiCare has been here, guided by a single purpose, making our communities healthier. That comes from making courageous decisions, partnering with local communities to grow programs and services, and expanding healthcare access to those who need it most. Together, we're building a healthier future. MultiCare.
Hi, Jason Valentine for the Apple Valley News Now Great American Flag Swap. Bring your old tattered American flag to All City Transmission on September 8th, and in exchange, we'll give you a brand new flag as we celebrate America together.
At All City Transmission, we stand as proud Americans, cherishing our nation's symbol of unity, the great American flag.
Honest work, quality price, All City Transmission.
Operation Best Friend on Good Morning Northwest, sponsored by Windermere Group 1.
Welcome back. We are tracking developing news from Australia tonight. At least 3 U.S. Marines are dead, several more injured after an MV-22 Osprey aircraft crashed during a training exercise. There were 23 Marines on board at the time. The Osprey can fly either like an airplane or a helicopter, and it's been around since the 1980s. But there have been a number of deadly crashes, including 2 within a matter of months during training exercises last year. So far tonight, the military says it's too soon to tell what caused this latest crash. FEMA is sending out $3 billion in grants to help make the nation more resilient against extreme weather. That includes projects like planting trees to avoid extreme heat and lifting homes to help avoid flood damage. The money is coming from the infrastructure law, not from FEMA's disaster fund, which the agency says is close to empty. FEMA says Congress needs to approve additional spending for that disaster fund, or it could hamper the agency's response to future disasters. And FEMA has been strained by huge storms and wildfire responses so far this year. Now another big storm is bearing down on the Gulf Coast. ABC's Rena Roy is tracking that.
Preps are underway in Florida as Idalia churns toward the state's Gulf Coast, rapidly strengthening and expected to make landfall as a major storm.
Wind and surge could be significant, 6 to 11 feet, and heavy rain as well.
With that storm surge likely, people in Tampa stocking up on sandbags.
We're college students, so we're just trying to prepare as best as we can.
Forecasters warn Idalia could also generate tornadoes.
It's better to be prepared versus not prepared and have regrets.
Duke Energy mobilizing about 4,500 workers to respond to potential power outages. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis getting a pledge of federal support from the White House after declaring a state of emergency for more than 30 counties, about half the state.
Floridians in the path of this storm, though, should be prepared to lose power, particularly if it ends up in a Big Bend major impact. There's a lot of trees, you're going to have a lot of power lines down.
Tampa International Airport shutting down at midnight, with forecasters expecting Idalia to make landfall Wednesday morning.
Everybody on the Florida Gulf Coast, just watch and be prepared and take the necessary action to protect you and your family.
After hitting Florida, Idalia is also expected to bring heavy rain and a chance of flash flooding in southern Georgia and the Carolinas before leaving the East Coast on Thursday. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
Well, let's start out and talk about that heat today. Very, very warm. We thought maybe we'd have a little bit of smoke and haze bringing those temps down. Didn't happen. 102 right now, Dust Devil Skycam, Giza Stadium. And again, record would be 103 set back in 1972. So pretty close. Winds are picking up there at 17 miles an hour. Here's the air quality map. Again, we're in the moderate zone and we've been there for most of the day. Yakima looking good. And this air quality should start to improve because we've got big shift coming in our weather. Again, here's that smoke and air quality map for around the region. It hasn't been good, but we haven't hit the unhealthy levels through the weekend like we did last weekend, or weekend before last, I should say. And again, we're starting to see that westerly flow. Now, here's what's going on as we have a cold front moving in, ridge of low pressure. And again, we're going to start to see that moisture build up, which could be potential thunder and lightning. Our storm chances are pretty good. The darker green, higher chances there, a little bit less. So Tri-Cities hit or miss. Going to see a little bit less in this region. However, let's take a look at Futurecast. And again, we'll start to see those storms coming up through the Tri-Cities. This is overnight, 2-3 in the morning. We could start to see some rain. Might even hear some thunder and lightning coming through the area. As the day progresses, we'll see those storms develop in the afternoon. As these storms come up and move through the area, you'll also see those strong gusty winds moving through as those storms approach. Now, we're not expecting a ton of rain. There's just very unstable weather in the region, and it's going to stay that way for the next couple of days. Wind advisory in place for the Kittitas Valley and for the southern Columbia Basin through the Columbia River Gorge. Gorge and through Pendleton just outside of Walla Walla. We are going to see some gusty winds in the Columbia Basin Tri-Cities. Here's our futurecast overnight tonight. Not too bad, a little breezy down here in the Columbia River Gorge. As we get into tomorrow, this is 8 o'clock in the morning. These are the wind gusts, and those just pick up and get even stronger. We could see 40 and 55-mile-an-hour gusts, especially in the Kittitas Valley, down the Hanford Reach and into the Columbia Basin, 30 to 40-mile-an-hour winds. So very windy. And as we get into Wednesday, we'll calm down slightly, but still see breezy and gusty winds. So that'll be the big change. And of course, the temperature drop also. Now tonight on the warm side, good sleeping weather. Again, we're going to be in the 60s for most of our region. Tomorrow, however, we'll see those temperatures drop from those triple digits. Today, look at this, 82 in the Tri-Cities. That's 20-degree drop in just one day. 80 in Yakima, 78 in Hermiston. For tomorrow, planning your day out, again, look for those thunder showers all through the region, on and off throughout the day. Tri-Cities, more so rain, could see a thunder boomer or two again beginning late tonight, and in Walla Walla, same thing. Let's take a look at weather photos. This one's from Shelley Brinkley. Great view of a smoky sunset. Great pictures to be had. So get out there, snap those photos, send them in to slee@applevalleyNewsNow.com. Here's your short-term forecast. Again, very unsettled look at Yakima, expecting some rain for the next couple of days on and off. In the Tri-Cities, same thing, a little bit less chance here, but again, temperatures dropping down, even down into 76 degrees. Normally, we're in the upper 80s, close to 90 this time of year. And in Walla Walla, thunderstorms, again, closer to those Blue Mountains, a stronger chance there, and that will continue. So we'll have cooler temperatures with a chance of thunder and lightning and some rain in the region. We'll get to that 7-day planning forecast in just a bit. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. And up next on Apple Valley News Now at 5, we're going to show you how a local organization is working to knock down barriers to finding new jobs and finding services. That's next.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles with the Honda Service Pass program. Enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall!
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back!
I just love fall. Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it! Peak fall achieved! DQ, happy tastes good.
It's a factory-authorized clearance at Blue Compass RV. Before the 24s arrive, every 23 must go. Every reasonable offer will be accepted. All 23s come with an exclusive 1-year VIP membership to RV Complete. A $5,000 value only Blue Compass can provide. If you ever dreamed of owning a new RV, now is your time. Every 23 must go at the factory-authorized clearance. Only at Blue Compass RV.
Save thousands on the new Revolutionary Swim Spa at a one-time sale. Friday through Monday. Hapo Center Pasco. Exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to swim. Unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation and 1 day only. New 2023 inventory. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Hapo Center Pasco. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Denzel versus the Italian Mafia. Next Extra, he teams up with action director Antoine Fuqua to take their hit Equalizer franchise to Italy.
I wanted to take Denzel international.
Next Extra.
Tonight at 7:30 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back. The Yakima Valley Partners for Education is working to dismantle language and technology barriers in the community. Last summer, the YVPE started a digital literacy computation course program, teaching dozens of people in the lower Yakima Valley about a whole range of computer skills. Advocates say these skills are an important part of making sure that people aren't left behind.
In some cases, they're completely left out from resources. Jobs are largely available online. The application process is available online. Things like sending attachments to qualify for services or verify something, a lot of that stuff is now available online.
Now, over the course of 6 weeks, students learn the basics, starting with simply turning on a laptop. We have more information on our website, applevalleynewsnow.com. We'll have a final look at your forecast when we come back. And still ahead, World News Tonight is tracking the investigation into a deadly shooting on a busy college campus that forced students to shelter in place for hours.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
If something's missing in your morning without a McDonald's breakfast, then try a new bagel sandwich. With fluffy egg, melty cheese, and your choice of a steak patty with grilled onion or bacon or sausage, well, those will fill the void deliciously. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At Honda, we offer complimentary maintenance for 2 years or 24,000 miles with the Honda Service Pass program. Enjoy the ride, knowing we cover routine items like oil changes, tire rotations, and multi-point inspections. Honda Service Pass, available to purchasers of all 2023 Honda vehicles. Get yours today.
This week, tracking severe weather systems and tornado threats, plus the shifting heat wave, where high temps are breaking records. More Americans turn to the most watched program on television, World News Tonight with David Muir.
Get ready for fun in paradise during the PRCA Rodeo at the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days. You get 3 action-packed nights during the 5-day fair to see the best cowboys and cowgirls in rodeo. Pick up tickets today to get in on the action. Your invitation to have fun in paradise is waiting at the Walla Walla Fair and Frontier Days, August 30th to September 3rd at the fairgrounds in Walla Walla.
Since 1968, Sundown M Ranch has helped over 200,000 patients and families recover from the effects of substance use disorders.
I was ashamed, humiliated, and not sure if I could be helped, but I listened and found a completely different way to live by spending time at Sundown.
I did not believe there was a way out of the dark hole my life had become. Sundown M Ranch provided a foundation for me to find a new way to live.
Sundown M Ranch. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
I was born and raised in Prosser, and I opened my first checking account at Yakima Federal right after I graduated. I honestly couldn't continue keeping money under my bed. My parents actually have never built credit. They've worked in agriculture for many years. I wanted to build credit. Yakima Federal feels like a small community. I love the fact that they offer scholarships. That way people can start their new careers. My name is Alejandro, and I've been a Yakima Federal customer for a little over 10 years.
Apple Valley News Now welcomes professional bull riding to the Toyota Center, September 8th and 9th. Enter to win a family 4-pack of tickets on the contest page at applevalleynewsnow.com, and you could be on your way to the PBR Tri-Cities Classic.
I think they like each other.
I'm Charles. Lunch?
Vanessa, I like lunch.
Give in to deliciousness. Buy one craveable classic and get another one for $1. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back. We're taking a final look at your forecast. And Stacey, I was thinking it might be the final iced coffee day of the year.
Right. It was really, well,
it's really hot out there
really
today.
Hot right now, but we're going to see a drastic shift in our weather. Here's that 7-day planning forecast in Yakima. Not only windy, but potential thunderstorms. Look at temperatures from 100 today down to 80, 20-degree drop there as well. Columbia Basin Tri-Cities 82 tomorrow, first day of school, looking okay. Again, your Labor Day though, there's kind of unsettled weather all week, and those temperatures are well below the average. Typically we're in the upper 80s this time of year. And again, there you go in Yakima, chance of thunder showers, cooler temperatures. Welcome back to school, kids, tomorrow there. So
it doesn't feel much like August anymore.
No, it does not. We still have a few days left though. So
all right, we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Stacey. Thank you so much for watching. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. We're back tonight at 6, and of course you can find the latest anytime on our website, applevalleynewsnow.com.